like a clap of thunder. As if that small act of kindness unlocked something, people started humming quietly. It came from the market women, led by Iyanu. She came to make fun of Adama, but the smell had made her feel kinder, reminding her of her own joyful wedding day. The hum grew into an old Yoruba cooking song, a song they hadn't sung together in years. A young man ran and returned with his talking drum, its familiar rhythm mixed with their singing, which was a little messy at first but got stronger. And through it all, clank, scrape, stir. The sound of Adama's spoon had become the heartbeat of a village, slowly remembering how to be friends again. The sun was high in the sky, beating down on the square, but no one moved. All eyes were on Adama as she made one last slow stir. The rice had soaked up all the rich red sauce. Every grain of rice was perfect and separate, shining with oil. She tasted a single grain from the tip of her spoon and nodded. It was ready. A deep quiet fell over the crowd. The drums went silent. The singing stopped. You could hear the wind in the Iroko tree and everyone holding their breath. Adama took a deep breath. She grabbed the two handles on the giant iron lid. It was heavy. For a moment, it looked like she couldn't lift it. Then, the old elder who helped with the fire stepped forward again, and together, they lifted the lid. A big cloud of steam shot up from the pot, rising to the sky like a prayer. But this was no ordinary steam. It was thick and white and seemed to shine in the sun, splitting the light into many tiny rainbows. The sweet-smelling cloud washed over everyone. It was warm and smelled like home, love, and parties. And as the steam touched their faces, the real magic happened. It wasn't a flash of light. It was a quiet miracle inside every person. For one single moment, everyone in Ayatoro felt the same thing. They were no longer in the dusty market square. They were in a memory. Chief Bello was at the feast for when he became chief, his heart full of hope. Iyanu was a little girl again, hiding under a table at a party, laughing with friends she had not talked to in years. For Mr. Adebayo and Mr. Okoro, the memory was the same. They were young men, standing side by side, helping to build a home for a new couple. Their arms hurt, but their hearts were happy. Every single person saw a memory of a time when the village was friends. They saw the faces of their parents and grandparents, smiling and proud. The memory lasted only a second, but it changed them deeply. The shared memory faded. They were back in the sunny square as the steam disappeared into the blue sky. But everything was different. People blinked, looking at each other as if for the first time. The mean look in their eyes was gone. Instead of looking at each other with mean eyes, they looked surprised and remembered. And across the square, tears started to run down their faces. Not sad tears, but tears from a deep, powerful, and beautiful memory. The quiet this time was not empty. It was full of feeling. Into that special quiet, Adama moved. She filled the fourth bowl and walked it not to the chief, but to the oldest woman in the village. The old woman took it with shaking hands, lifted a small amount to her lips, and a slow, surprised smile spread across her face. The next plate went to Chief Bello. He took a mouthful, and the tiredness in his body seemed to melt away. He looked at the faces of his people, so open and kind, and felt a rush of love so strong it almost made him fall to his knees. He saw a family, his family, waiting to be led home. Adama moved through the crowd like a priestess. She served Mr. Adebayo and Mr. Okoro at the same time on purpose. They ate in a tense quiet, the whole village watching. After a few bites, Mr. Adebayo stopped. He looked at his bowl, then at Mr. Okoro's. Nervously, he picked the biggest piece of chicken from his own rice and gently put it in the other man's bowl. Mr. Okoro looked up, his eyes wide with surprise. He looked at the chicken, then at the man who had been his enemy for so long. He took a long, shaky breath and nodded slowly and deeply. It was a peace agreement made not with a pen, but with jollof rice. Iyanu, the market woman with the sharp words, took her food with a doubtful sniff. But as she tasted it, the taste was pure kindness. It reminded her of her own mother, kindly teaching her how to grind peppers. The memory was so clear, it broke the hard shell she had built around herself. She walked over to Adama, whose face was shiny with sweat from her hard work. Iyanu didn't offer a mean remark. She just bowed her head. "You have your grandmother's hands," she whispered, her voice full of a feeling no one had ever heard from her before. "And her spirit." As the villagers ate, talk started, shyly at first, then getting louder. Old friends, separated by the fight, found themselves sharing a plantain and laughing about a joke from when they were kids. The food wasn't just filling their stomachs, it was filling the empty spaces between them. Later that day, a boy came running, shouting that the old well, which had been dry for over a year, started to fill with fresh water again. It was a sign. The ancestors were happy. The earth itself was celebrating. Adama, tired, but with a heart full of quiet happiness, watched as the last grains of rice were scraped from the big pot. She was no longer just Adama. They called her Adama Onje Alafie, which means Adama, the cook of peace. She hadn't just cooked a meal. She had reminded her people that the real magic wasn't in a secret ritual. The magic was in the love you put into the simple, special act of sharing with others. The story of Adama and her magical jollof rice became a famous story in Ayatoro. It was a story told by elders to their grandkids and sung by the market women as they worked. They say that from that day forward, the village was never the same. Fights were settled, the market buzzed with life, and laughter was heard all over the village again. Every year, the New Yam Festival became the Great Jollof Feast, and a giant pot was placed in the center of the square as a reminder. The real magic, the storytellers would say, wasn't a spell. It was the old wisdom Adama had listened to, the understanding that a village is held together by the memories they share and the kindness they show. The jollof rice was just the way to show it. The delicious, clear proof that the most powerful thing to do is to give with a good heart. Weeks later, Ayatoro is busy and full of life. The market buzzes, children play freely, and Adama is seen teaching a group of young girls how to stir a pot, the grandmother's wooden spoon moving in their hands, passing on not just a recipe, but a way to live in peace. The story of Adama reminds us that the simplest acts of kindness have the greatest power. If you believe in the power of stories that fix things and bring people together, please consider liking this video, sharing it with someone who loves a good story, and subscribing to our channel for more stories from Africa. Until next time.